Hello everyone, today's video is going to be my update on my chopping block series. I started a chopping block in January where I showed you guys some palettes that I had on my chopping block for 2026, and I told you guys that I wanted to kind of rotate through them and then come back with updates showing you guys looks that I've done, overall thoughts and feelings of the palette, if I'm keeping the palette or not. I'm one of those people that doesn't like to do a mass declutter like at the end of the year, the beginning of the year. I don't want to do a mass declutter of my collection. That isn't very feasible for me. And I like to declutter throughout the year more mindfully. And this is kind of where this comes into play. These are things that I've considered decluttering in the past. I am currently considering decluttering, and I just want to use them, see if they belong in my collection. I do have 80 some palettes. Not everything deserves to stay, and I wanted to start off with the BH Blueberry Muffin palette. I wanted to film this like a week ago, and I wanted to get this video up sooner so then I could start on my next like focus palette. I did use this palette 3 times in January, and because my rules are like I want to use it bare minimum of 3 times to see my thoughts, feelings, a variety of different looks and everything, I could have filmed the video in January. But here I am, February 13th, like we're halfway through the month, and I really wanted to do this final look. This is one of the looks that I do with this palette quite often. It is a go-to sort of look for me, so I wanted to at least film this look for you, which I did, and we'll talk about that later. But I really wanted to do a 4th and final look with this palette before I officially do this video for you. And then someone in the comments said they like the clicky clacks of Shiloh, so I'm leaving them in. So if you like it, you like it. You don't, you don't. I was told to keep them in. The reason why I put this as the first palette that I wanted to like go through in this series is because this was a palette that got 0 use in 2025. I haven't used it since 2024. So this has been in my collection going untouched for a very long time. Was there a reason why it was going untouched? And fact of the matter is, this palette is so pretty. I have loved all 4 of the looks that I did with this palette. We'll talk about all them, but this is a great palette, great quality. The main reason why my BH Cosmetics palettes were in my chopping block, and I did have all 3 of them, Blueberry Muffin, the Avocado Toast, and the Mimosa, all 3 of them were in my chopping block. These are getting older, BH is no longer around, and I have seen people on Instagram specifically saying how their palettes have been going bad. So I really wanted to revisit these palettes to make sure is the quality still good. And I can tell you right now, at least with Blueberry Muffin, it is still good, which makes me very excited because this is a beautiful palette. Why don't I stop like talking about it and freaking show you guys the palette? So this is the palette here, very reflective packaging, so I'm very sorry. I wanted to do a variety of looks, and the more I use this, I'm like, is this my favorite out of all 3? Because I feel like you can get the most neutral looks out of this palette. There is only 2 shades I don't like in this palette. It's these 2 blues right here. I did not use them in any of my looks, and it's just fine. Like, I don't need those. I have these to deepen up, and I have used these to deepen up my looks before, and all the other shades are beautiful. I am one for a light shimmer shade, so I love the selection of light shimmers in this palette. You have some slightly warmer ones, some cooler ones. There's a lot of like neutral to cool. You have like a purple here, which this is a purple look, and I got it solely from this palette. So I really do like the overall feeling of this palette. You can go a little warmer with the shade called Fluffy, or you go cooler with the gray called Treat. Like, I think you can just do a lot of different things with this palette, and I think BH did something really, really good with this palette, and it's such a disappointment that this has gone unused in my collection for so long. In my January palette roundup video, I purposely did not show you guys any of the looks with this because I wanted to show them in this video. I really wanted to show off the colors I used, what I used for the look, and wanted to go a little bit more in-depth into each look. So the first look that I did, probably my all-time favorite look other than this one that I have done. It is super simple, very easy, neutral, everyday. When I think of this palette, like that's not the type of look I think of, but I totally got that look, and I thought it was super pretty. I'm trying to find a way to like hold this up and then show you the photo, But in this specific look, I did use Fluffy in the crease. I used the shade 360 on my outer corner. I used the shade Crumble all over the lid. This is honestly probably one of my favorite shades in the entire palette. It is like, it's not cool toned, but it's like, it has a slight pink to it. It's kind of taupey. I just think it is super flattering, super pretty, and I really, really enjoyed that color. And it's like I said, probably like my favorite shade in the entire palette. And then I used Sugared here in the inner corner. It is super bright. It's a little bit more flaky than some of these other ones. Like Crumble is extremely smooth. A lot of these other ones are honestly pretty smooth, but Sugared is a little bit more textured. It's a little bit more flaky, but I tend to really use it, or I tend to primarily use it in the inner corner, which I did. I love this look. This is such a good everyday look for me, and you wouldn't really expect it from this palette. When I think of this palette, I think of blue, and I really wanted to like go out of the box. And then here is another very basic look that I did. Very neutral, simple, everyday sort of look. And I did the same thing. I did Fluffy in the crease. I did a little bit of 360. Actually, I think I just put 360 on my lower lash line. I don't think I deepened my crease up with this at all. I think this is only on the lower lash line to keep it a little bit more light. I said I used Sweet here, which is a warmer sort of light gold, very light gold. And if I'm going to wear gold, that's the type of gold I want to wear. And then I said I used Cravings, but I'm trying to look at my photo. I probably used Sweet on the outer corner and used Cravings on the inner corner. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting. But I'll swatch Sweet for you. It is not gold gold, but it is gold enough. So that these two are the same shade, but that is the gold color. It's just a very basic gold color. And this is the type of gold that I like to wear. So this is a little bit more of a warmer look with this palette. And of course you could have gone deeper if you put 360. Why did I say 360? It's 350 degrees. If you put 350 in the outer corner, deepen it up sort of like the last one, you would be able to get that same sort of depth in the outer corner. I definitely needed to do a blue look with this palette. And my friend here, Michelle Davidson, she wanted me to use the shade Tempting, and she wanted me to use the shade Yummy here. Tempting is one of those colors that I don't tend to wear. And then when I use this palette, like I said, I feel like I need to do something blue, which is why I started off doing a more neutral look with this palette. And I honestly think all three of these BH Cosmetics palettes does give you an option to do something more neutral every day, so you're not stuck in the blue, green, or pink arena. I really did like this blue look. So what I ended up doing is I used Cheat Day all over the lid. I blended it out with So Good. So the only blue shade that I did not use at all in these four looks was this blue, light blue one down here called Delish. So I just used Cheat Day and I used So Good. I used Decadent up here to deepen up my crease. This Decadent shade, I know it doesn't really look like it in the pan. It looks like a dark brown. It is a nice, deep, very deep purple. Like I was told, they wanted me to use Tempting, which is on the latter half of the lid, and I used Yummy, which is on the majority of the lid. And then I'm pretty certain I don't know if I used my highlighter as my inner corner, or if I did use this in my inner corner. I don't think this is light enough for me to use in the inner corner, but it is like a purple shade. And like I said, like this is a very good purple color, and it's like really, like this is the purple color. It is like just purple enough, but it gives you the purple vibe, and I really do like the color. And these shimmers, they're like your basic shimmer. And I don't want to say basic in a bad way, but you think now you have indie shimmers, you have iridescence, multi-chromes, duochromes, flakies, you have all those types of formulas. This is a basic shimmer, and it is like a basic metallic. It is super user-friendly, super opaque on the eye. Like you don't have any issues with them. Like I said, really do love this palette. Love the look. And then for this look here, I did film it this morning before I went to work while I applied it, so I will be putting that in this video here, but it is just going to be a really simple purple look. This is a look that I tend to do quite often with this palette. It's a go-to look for me. So I start out with Treat, and so I guess the only shades I did not use in this palette was that one light blue shade and those two ones, the two darker ones I said at the beginning of the video. But all the other shades I did use in these last 4 looks. So Treat does give you more of a cooler toned vibe to your look. And I did use Decadent, which is that really dark purple. Once you blend that Decadent shade, especially with the Treat color, with the gray, it does create this like murky purpley look. And like my look today does not look too dark. In my opinion, I think it looks, you know, very, very, I don't want to say everyday appropriate. I did go to work with this look, but to me it's not too dark. Like this is a very manageable level of darkness for me. But Decadent just blends out into this beautiful purple shade. And when I'm using Treat and Decadent, it's like I have to use Yummy on most of the lid. So I did use Yummy on most of my lid. And then I went into the Hot and Fresh color, which is a true silver. It is such a good silver as well. I put that on the first like half of my lid. I think this goes very well with the purples, have a purple silver moment. And then I did use Sugared a little bit in my inner corner. I don't think I like a silver in my inner corner because like they just have a little bit of a darkness to them, a little bit of a gray tint to them because it's a silver. So I don't really like silver in my inner corner. So I did use Sugared on the inner corner. So I did use 3 shimmers, 2 mattes. Those mattes blend so well together. I am super impressed with this look. So I did 2 like neutral everyday looks. I did a purple look and then I did a blue look. I really wanted to do different looks with these palettes to kind of really test myself in the palette, use the palette in enough of a capacity for me to realize, do I really need it or not? This palette really impressed me. It's really disappointing to me that I have not used this in recent years. And while I have used my other 2 last year, I feel like I haven't used them very much without looking at my numbers. So like this one, quality still very, very good. Shimmers are really good. The mattes are pigmented. They still blend really nicely. The shimmers are, you know, just as they used to be. Really, really, really do love this palette from the looks that I've made. And it just makes me so sad I have not even using this because it is a very good palette. It makes me so sad that BH Cosmetics is no longer a thing. It makes me so sad that these palettes are no longer a thing. Like they created some amazing stuff. But I am going to be keeping this palette going forward. It would be difficult for me to kind of break up my pack, like break up the 3 that I have. So I do want to use Mimosa in February. I better get crack-a-lackin' because we're coming to the end of February now. In March, I'm definitely going to want to use more like greens. So this is a purple look, so I figured it was fitting for February. This was a very good like first palette for me to do in my chopping block. This chopping block is not meant to just declutter every palette. It's meant to find things that I haven't been using in a long time. If I declutter stuff here and there, that's great and whatever. But at the end of the day, I'm getting use out of a palette that I wasn't getting use on before. And I thoroughly have enjoyed every single look. Like I wasn't like disappointed that I had to use this palette today. Like I wanted to film this video like a week ago, but I had other stuff come in. So I'm very glad that I pulled this out for my first little round. I do not know the next palette and I do not know when my next video will be. So hope you guys enjoyed today's chopping block video. I will leave my chopping block playlist link down below and that will have my chopping block intro down below and we will see what the next palette will be. I was really hoping to get all of my BH Cosmetics palettes done at the beginning. Like this one be January, Mimosa be February, and then Avocado Toast be March. I don't know if it'll pan out like that. I would like to especially get through my BH Cosmetics palettes at the very least because these are definitely older in my collection and they definitely need love regardless if I'm keeping them or not. But out of all 3 of these palettes, my favorite shimmers are in this palette because they are just colors that I love and enjoy. That playlist will be linked down below, which will house my intro, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I hope you guys enjoyed seeing all my looks, and then that little one that I did today, like my little montage of me putting my eyeshadow on this morning. I hope you guys enjoyed that as well. If you guys enjoy eyeshadow palette related content using the makeup that you already have, I highly recommend you subscribe, like this video, hype it up so more people can find this channel in my video. And I hope you guys comment down below, do you have a chopping block? What is on your chopping block? Do you have these palettes? Has yours gone bad? Because luckily for me, it hasn't gone bad yet. Yet is the key word. So comment down below all of that. I love to talk to you guys down there. It is one of my favorite parts of having a YouTube channel. Other than talking to myself here for a good chunk of time, I love reading the comments. I love and appreciate you all so much, and I shall see you guys next time.